Breaking overnight, President Trump shaking up his re-election campaign. Brad Parscale out as campaign manager. This as President Trump's poll numbers take a nosedive. Joining us now is CNN political director David Chalian. Hi, David.
Good morning, Allison.
President Trump appears to be understandably upset after that Tulsa rally didn't meet expectations, and now these poll numbers, which we'll get to in a second. So how significant is this shakeup?
Well, I mean, getting rid of your campaign manager, swapping them out for something else, that's always a significant development in a campaign. I think it's not a very surprising development. As you noted, since the Tulsa rally, there's been conversation about Brad Parscale's fate. And you mentioned the polls, Allison. I'll just say candidates don't get rid of campaign managers that are winning campaigns. So it, to me, is just yet another clear indication. I think we get many of them almost on a daily basis now from President Trump about where he sees his standing in this race.
Okay, let's dive into the polls. There are some of note because they show a double-digit lead for Joe Biden. So here is NBC, Wall Street Journal, Joe Biden at 51%. Donald Trump at 40%. These are national polls. At Quinnipiac, it's even bigger. Joe Biden, 52%. Donald Trump, 37%. What do you say?
Yeah, two national polls, both coming out yesterday, both showing double-digit national leads for Joe Biden. It's significant. We're 3.5 months away from the election. It is still a snapshot in time. This is not necessarily what the polls will look like in November, but it shows what a deficit Donald Trump is in right now. And honestly, Allison, I think when you go inside these numbers of what's underneath them, you see how the coronavirus issue and Donald Trump's perceived lack of leadership, perceived failure from the American people on the issue is what's driving his numbers down. Even in the Quinnipiac poll, we see, a rough split among core parts of his base, rural voters, white non-college voters. Half of them are saying he's actually hurting the spread of the virus with what he's doing, not helping. Of his core base voters, there's a split reaction on that. So I do think what we see here in his overall job approval as well is the coronavirus issue is the issue of this election, and it's really weighing the president down.
Okay, so let's dive into some of that. At the NBC Wall Street Journal poll asked the respondents, do you think the country is on the right track or the wrong track? What did they find?
72% say the country's on the wrong track. But look at the movement, Allison, since March. You see there 56% in March said the country was on the wrong track. That's now up 16 points since March. Well, what's been going on since March? This perceived failure in leadership on the handling of the coronavirus. Take a look also about views of the economy and reopening. I thought this was really interesting, the NBC Wall Street Journal poll. People are looking for a candidate who is the one focusing on controlling the spread of the virus. 57%. That's a big size of a majority there. Only 25% prefer the candidate who's focusing more on reopening the economy. As you know, again, I just think what you see here is that where Donald Trump has been focusing on is actually, as this number indicates, out of step with where the priorities of the American people are.
I think that one is really fascinating, as you said, David, because he is so focused on the economy. And anytime we talk to, Peter Navarro, or that's the message, the economy must open, the economy must open. But obviously voters are not feeling as bullish about all of this or as confident that they can get back to their old lives right now because they want the virus in check first. So now, what's happening with Biden? What's happening with his poll numbers? Do we have any insight into that?
Well, as you see, he has these double-digit leads. By the way, we also saw it in a key battleground state of Pennsylvania yesterday. There was a poll that had him with a double-digit lead. He is dealing with an uptick in this NBC Wall Street Journal poll in his negativity rating. I see this more as sort of him being in the arena now. We know the Trump campaign is focusing more of its fire on Joe Biden, trying to make this a choice election, even though all of the data is indicating right now it is a referendum on Donald Trump at the moment. But this is something that the Biden campaign will have to be aware of. I'll just say they're running against Donald Trump, who has higher negative ratings. And by the way, more passion behind those negative ratings. So people, when they say they feel sort of negatively about Biden, 33% say very negative, right? When people say they feel negatively about Donald Trump, you see the 54 there, but 48% of that say very negatively. So there is this passion that is also running against Donald Trump that for the folks that who do feel negatively, feel so very strongly, which could be a vote motivator.
Really interesting, David Chalian. Thank you very much
Sure.
for all of the insight into this.